Okay, members and friends, life goes on, right? So I'm in this little corner over here. I admit I have a problem with cookbooks. I have like thousands of them. I don't buy as much as I used to. If I go to the thrift store, I'll buy 5 books, get one free, and maybe try and squeeze in another one. I have a lot of school children's workbooks. I got them all over the place, people. I've been a homeschool mom for a long time. So anyway, it's time to clear out. At least I'm looking at this because I got to do some stuff with Andre. But I also got to keep up with the format, right? In terms of working on the nonprofit to the best of my ability. And in light of everything, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this binder. Controlled Drugs and Substance Act, Energy Weapons, Defining Organized Crime, and the Police Mandate. I'm going to pull out this one, and I'm just going to do some of that called fast reading. I'm not going to try and study the information. I'm just going to try and squeeze in some fast reading so I can start getting a better understanding of what their role is as a policing agency in society. Because there seems to be a lot of conflict going on right now from what we're taught as when we're little, growing up, what police represent in our community, and then what happens when you're older and you become disenfranchised and poor and mentally ill and sick and just whatever. So anyway, that's the starting point, right? And then I'm going to build that into the, the issues of workman compensation, like who's responsible for 1,000 people that have no access except to one washroom? Like really, who's responsible? Is that the provincial government? Is that the federal government? Is that the local government? It sure in the hell isn't the police. But the police are the ones that are having to deal with the problem. So anyway, I'm clearing out this section anyway. I'm going to have to move some of these because these are too high, because I need to take care of my little grandson. So I need this wipeout board because I want to start doing some homeschooling with him. I got to turn this corner into a child-friendly corner. I've been trying, but people, I don't have no space in here. It's pathetic, right? There's this little ABCs. And I have to do my nonprofit books, and we know what happens once I start doing my nonprofit books in here. All the papers, everything starts to spill out on the floor for months. But that's not going to let me, stop from trying. So that's what I'm going to do here as I'm bringing in the books. There's the old XP. It doesn't go online. I just use it to make GIFs on if I ever have time, like animated GIFs. Or there's some old information to the nonprofit. I hope my son doesn't have to crash the whole thing, because I don't know if all the files have been saved onto floppy disks, because that's a floppy disk, right? I like that one because I can use a floppy disk, right? Because, some computers have floppy disks, some have flash drives. One in my bedroom has the flash drive in the back, which is like almost impossible to get to, right? So using a floppy disk and then bringing it to this computer and getting it ready and then saving it onto a flash drive, because there's a flash drive here, right? And then bringing it onto this computer, and then if I want to upload and import, right, then it kind of works. It works pretty good. But the thing is, you have to have everything in working order. So, yeah. I'm going to put this washroom stuff in with this, I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but I just want people to know where my mindset is at. And oh, yeah. That box there is the nonprofit box. It's one of them. I gotta do my taxes, gotta sort through all that. There's nonprofit down there. T2 forms and expense reports from last time I did them, that kind of stuff. Moving this stuff around is like exercise. Do you know how much money I spent on ink and paper and binders to photocopy the information that's in them to fight for my grandson? That's what I did. I was getting ready to go to court, people. I was trying to find a way to get him back. And the people that did that to us as a family, you know, the cost is absorbed for them. Okay, so I'm just going to roll with this one. Here's the decision I have to make. Do I keep it easy on myself and don't move those, but move these? I want both to remain, but I can't because I need this corner. Like I said, I'm going to try and turn it more into a homeschool little center here for Andre. It's not very much, but I'll still have to keep my books in here as I'm working on them, but try and keep them down into a box. I'll get rid of all this. But in the meantime, you know, in light of what's going on out here in Surrey, with the poorest of the poor, I think these ones should be more handy at this point in life than these ones. And I only have so much space. So I think what I need to like take out these ones and put those ones in there, and then everything else is kind of like more for Andre, right? I'll put some of his stuff down in there, make it more accessible. But these ones here, I might need them, maybe more than I need these ones, right? Now I know I do this to myself. This is a bin full of books, people. That's not the first bin around the house that I've got books in. And there's books there, you can see. And there's some books over there, and I just took a whole bunch of books more to my dad's room. This bread machine is going to Missouri, United States of America, to our new board director. So, I just wanted to acknowledge that I do this to myself. I'm well aware that some of the things I struggle with, I struggle because, you know, I think I'm going to read each and every one of them. Seriously. Okay, so that's what I got so far. I think I'm going to leave this corner over here for kind of like a word of the week, because, you know, word power, right? And I try and get my 16-year-old to, you know, focus and build on her vocabulary. This I'm trying to obviously make for Andre, right? I got to start doing this stuff with Andre. Okay, it's time for Andre to start getting some homeschooling in. And then, of course, I got to read that stuff on the fly. This is really hard. I didn't plan to start off in this corner here, people. But I'm in here now, so I'm working on clearing this out, right? I think I'm going to put some corner, I'm going to take this stuff down. I don't know where I'm going to hang it, but I need to get in behind there anyway. But I need to also have either a wipeout board there or something where I can, you know, tack paper. Just a straight up board. So that's what I'm going to work on there. Oh, yes. We need to teach Andre, start teaching him music. His auntie should make him play piano, so I have asked her to really start thinking about giving him the scales. And speaking of scales, here's the scales and the harmonics. There's one. C. Here's D. And then E. F. We get the point. You see, members and friends, this issue that I have with books, it started like a long time ago. This is science. Well, that's not science books. I have that in a different section, but you can see, right? And there's some little projects up in there. I gotta get up in this with Andre, right? The thrift stores, people, over years. This is kind of cool. Okay, members and friends, still moving along here. Right? What's in here? As I get a little more organized, obviously I'm in a crisis right now, right? So much for books today. I'm trying to make room in here, believe it or not, right? There they are. They're right there. And I'm trying to put my grandson first, because there's all this learning material that he needs to start being exposed to, right? Because I want him to be successful in school. So a lot of this stuff here is from when my kids, who my oldest is 30, is still from when they were homeschooling. And some of it I collected over the years, back in the day when books were cheaper. Like, I used to get those things for 90 cents a book, 99 cents a book, 30% off. Back in those days. So, and because I was working with lots of kids, I need multiples sometimes. So I collected a few more along the way, right? And if I go off and go do something with some kids or something one day with Andre, and we want to do books, I'll take books with me. Like when I had that Flag Day, I brought out some of these books. But what I'm in here for is that old technology. Those are those old cassette decks. Remember those? Yeah, because a lot of these programs down here are old. Doesn't mean they're not good, just means they're old. And they have cassette decks with them. See, you can see right there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get those out. I'll be back. Oh yeah, what provoked me to actually show you this little cubby? I don't know if you can see it. Where does this crap come from? I haven't opened this thing in over a year. Seriously, it's been buried. It's full of dust. And there's crap. And I have to dust that all off. Like, where does this stuff come from? Because when I close it up and leave it alone, don't touch it. Can you see that dust, people? Look at this dust. I have to wipe all that stuff down. Okay, so for anyone that watches my videos, you would remember this board. Right? January 15th, 2014. This is what I was all mixed up in. I'm going to wipe this out today. Today's the day it's going. Because I need to hang this board right here. It will be a multi-purpose board. What has changed since January 25th of 2014? Well, one adult has died. She's gone, so we're going to take that out. Alright. No, let her sleep in peace. The two aunties aren't as angry as they used to be. Right, the three adults in the house, well, I'm always, every day, telling myself not to get angry. And then there's my son there with his going into $100,000 in debt at 24 years old just to get an education. So I'd say he's still a little angry. Well, my dad, he's missing his wife, but he's being looked after. So I'm just taking out everybody's miserable little face here, right? Because we don't kind of look like that. My daughter is still not doing well. Andre, this is his spirit when he was gone, but that is pretty much gone now. He is no longer over here, so we'll take him out. Although there will always be some kind of a ramification of something left behind. This, well, that's still all up for speculation. There's definitely something wrong with the system. There's no disputing that. Okay, so this corner is pretty much done. The only thing I gotta do is come in here with some water and vinegar and a little bit of soap. Just start wiping things down. To get in there and wipe everything off. Wipe off the dust. Get in there and wipe off the dust that flew in there. I took out the books. It's not much of a homeschool learning center. This, I got my own, crap for nonprofit and paper and whatever. But outside of that, I think this is a good start for Andre. This one I just put here for now, because this is the one I'm going to speed read on. And here are those little, on a wood with little pictures. You put them in to match them up. And then he's got some, we'll start doing phonics and ABCs. This is hooked on phonics, hooked on preschool. So it's a form of a phonics program. This is a phonics program. This is a math factory. So here's this little alphabet. Alright, I have to look for the adapters. Washed everything off. And now got up on this big pile of mess. Look at this, people, this is how I live. I don't know where I'm going to put those. But that's some valuable information in there. So I'll have to find some place for it. More books. Oh yeah, look at those books up there. Okay. Well, that took all day, people. Can you see this? Here's my computer. There's the screen, there's the stuff for my son, here's the other computer, and there's a whole bunch of books I need to put away. Okay, so that's the result of my day. I know it's not much of a homeschool center. Oh, this house is small, people. Like, seriously, this room is so small. Just go around. It's like not even 40 feet that way. And go around. And it's about 35 feet that way. Alright. And then now I'm clearing off the table so I can get into some, eventually, paperwork and those things down there, right?